Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Tiger vs. Minecraft. We start off again where we left off essentially earlier, with starting off the big first base we have. As I said, it's bare bones, but so were the block selection back in the day. And, of course, me using a coal to smelt one of the workshops, might as well use it for one cobblestone piece in the wrong place. But other than that, most of the building will be with cobblestone, as you'll see. And I'm starting off the mine here, and I want to talk a little bit more where I left off last episode with what all of this is going to be about and a little bit what the series is going to be. Just kind of continue off there. First off, I'm planning to have them about 15 minutes each every episode, or to just stick to what Minecraft used to be back in the day as both YouTube content and game. And the longer formats weren't that usual in the beta days or for a long time, honestly. I feel like the longer contents didn't start before, I'd say, the Elytras got added into the game. Of course, it started to get a little bit longer and longer every episode for most people, but generally there were much long formats back in the day. So I kind of want to stick to more of that nature of it with this. So 15-minute rants, talks, anything like that is kind of what's going to be. And also, as I said, most of these first episode will be after commentary footage. As I had a hour first session just to get started into the world, and as I didn't know where to take it yet and talk about and all that, I kind of just did the gameplay footage. And now doing the after commentary. But other than that, we'll see what happens. I might combine after commentary with live commentary, that sort of thing, depending on the situation and what we're doing. Early game here, and just to give info, I felt after commentary was probably the best to start off with. For the most part on that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what 1.3 or beta 1.3 gave to the game. As I talked about, there's gonna be a lot of information about the game history and stuff like that. And to start it off, what 1.3 brought to the game. And to this era, that was cobblestone slabs that you saw me building with now. Wooden slabs and also sandstone slabs were most of the building blocks added into this version of the game. They didn't exist before this version. It's weird to think about, considering today where there's barely anything that doesn't get added with slabs. We have the obscure one of Tusk, which was the recently added block that didn't have any more block selection than just a block. And calcium, I believe, as well. I don't think I've seen any slabs or stairs there. But then again, you have quartz, which is essentially the white block, building block. And as you saw me, I messed up not banking a pickaxe, so here we are watching the sunrise. But other than that, so like beds and the slab types were added. It's also the update where the skull painting got added in, the 2x2 skull painting, which I actually didn't know before I researched a little bit about this update. I was always believed that most of the paintings in the game were already in the game, but it seems like some of them got added in later. It's kind of fun to think about. Yeah. I don't really know where to take today's episode. I'm kind of here just to talk over here a little bit and just show off the nostalgia, I said. But we are currently starting on the base house for this version. This is where we have most of our operation. I'm planning on using the mine you see me starting on here, mostly just to show off some of the features that are with the mine carts. That's why you see me digging like a 2 wide and quite a high high roof. That's mostly because of the stairs, but still. But I want to show off kind of what the Minecraft Rails used to function back in the day when we realized there's a... I'd call it a feature. Most people would probably, or at least Mojang would call it a bug, considering it got patched later in the updates. But for most of us it was a feature. And also another thing here in the back of the day is the creeper explosions. The moment you heard the creeper starting to explode, there was essentially no way to stop it. You couldn't back far enough away or anything like that, because I was out of distance to take damage and it still blew up. Of course that still happens today, but I had a pretty huge distance compared to what the creeper today does. And that has a little bit to do with how the AI was back in the day. And you see that with the pigs and the sheep, cow. Today when you hit them they start sporadically running around. And this update, or this early on in the game, they didn't really mind it that much, to say. It kind of just, okay, I got hit, go on with my day. Which is, it's kind of weird when you've gotten used to the new AI of them. And also the limited blocks with birch not being a part of the game yet in block selection in wood type. Of course you have the log, but you didn't have the sapling for it. That comes later in the updates. I think birch saplings and spruce saplings got added into the game same time. And I believe that's when the spruce trees got introduced as well. So they got different saplings altogether. So before that, you only had the oak saplings. I don't think any of the oak saplings could randomly spawn into birch trees. I'm a little bit unsure on that, but I don't think that was part of the game. That would have been interesting though if it was. But to go a little bit back to last episode and what we talked about there, this is quite early on in the series, of course, and I don't know where the series will be taken according to how edits and stuff like that is. I mostly like having the videos unedited to most parts, so most of these, mostly because of nostalgia, I won't really add background music, which many might find lacking compared to today's standard of videos. I feel like everyone has background music on their videos today when it comes to their content, and I get that, but again, going a little bit back to how it used to be growing up with this, both in what the game provided and also what the internet provided. It was still early on in YouTube history as well. It's kind of weird to think about how our, or my generation, kind of grew up with these things, both in gaming history and online history generally. YouTube isn't really one of the things you think about, but like the game grew along with YouTube. That's kind of just weird to think about considering how YouTube is today. That isn't really why we're here, is it? It's this game and what it brings, and it's nice to kind of be back to what made Minecraft again. Kind of been able to provide a slower form of content. Nothing that's like always rushed, always going into new projects, new things, bigger things. I feel the earlier versions of the game were a lot more about the smaller projects and just enjoying the game generally. I do want to point out some of these footages have some glitched audio in it. I'm not sure yet what's causing that. I heard it on the last episode a little bit, and you're going to hear it pretty soon here as well in the music. And I have not figured out yet what's causing it, and as soon as I do, hopefully that will not be a problem anymore. But you know, at the moment I do not know what that issue is, so bear with me a little bit. But yeah, we are essentially just starting our base here, and with what's been added into this version of the game, there's not much interesting to try to build with, so it's mostly just going to be mining in the sense forward for now. Again, a little bit how this content is going to go. I don't really want to cut much, but I might cut out some of the mining processes and stuff like that, so there's some split in where the footage and everything and timeline. Not too much though. It will mostly just be like, okay, starting strip mining, I will mostly cut out like the middle section where most of the mining is happening. If there's nothing really happening, like strip mining for diamonds is, as far as I know, it's really interesting to look for. But then again, comment what you all think I should do with this series. This is a little bit up to you all as well, that would like to watch this series progress. I don't really have a specific frame to follow. This is all up to how nostalgic you all want this game to be. If you want it to be as 2011 had it, then that's where I will keep it, most of it. And I do find it interesting after starting this project and researching a little bit for this project, starting to see video feeds of recent uploads with older Minecraft projects and stuff like that. Seen someone do a very early, one of the first challenge runs, or not first, but most known challenge runs in this game, and that's the 404 challenge from beta 1.7.3. I think there were early versions of that, but that's the most played version with that challenge, which is essentially just a seed. And I might try to do that for 1.7 and just try to do the challenge there instead of the usual challenge I set up here. We'll see a little bit about it when we get closer to 1.7. But other than that, we are, as I said, we're just starting the mines there and starting the beginning of a new world as usual. Nothing really has changed there yet, I feel, for most of the player base. The new beginnings is usually pretty bare bones and what you make of bases and stuff like that. I feel a lot more people maybe, instead of digging into a hill and make a small base there just to start off, a lot of them make small houses and stuff like that in the newer versions, which is kind of why I feel it's a little bit more rushed. Others don't even make a house the first night or a place to stay. They roam around, just gets a bed and sleeps there through the first nights, which it's everyone's individual playstyle. But we'll see where we end up in the future. For now, as we start digging in, and we'll find our first cave here pretty soon as well, I will leave you all to the rest of this footage and see you all in the next episode.